Hi, I'm Tom Payton and welcome to my blog. First of all, I'd like to say a massive thank you to everybody who checked out the first tutorial. Hopefully it was a good indicator of the kind of thing that we're going to be doing going forward. And don't forget, if there's something you'd like me to review, or perhaps there's something you'd like me to do a little tutorial on, particularly when it comes to nightlife stuff, you can stick it in the comments below and I'll do my best to get you a video out in the future. Secondly, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Digital Filmmaker magazine. Last month they did a 6-page feature which I wrote for them, all about nightlife filmmaking and how I got started in the industry, and I hope anybody that read it out there enjoyed the little article. I really think it's a great magazine. For us as a community, there's never been anything like that. I mean, you can go into any news agents and there are literally hundreds of magazines on every different random kind of photography that you can think of. But as a filmmaking community, we've got nothing until now. So get on their Facebook page or go and check them out on Twitter. Order yourselves a copy. Mine was issued too with the feature that I did. And support these guys. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what it's all about. We're all part of a community, and I really think a magazine like this, especially if you're just starting out, is an amazing tool to have out there. Right, so let's get down to business then. So after the last tutorial, I put the word out on Facebook and on Twitter, and I asked people what would they like to see from the next tutorial, and the overwhelming response seemed to be workflow. You know, everybody wants to know how to speed up their editing process, how to power through these videos. You know, when you're out in a club and you're looking to make a 2-minute, 3-minute video, but you filmed 2-3 hours worth of footage, it's a long old slog to get through it. And to be honest with you, there isn't a huge amount you can do to speed it up without, you know, risking the quality of your final piece. And so for me, I've kind of come up with 3 very simple rules that I always follow, that always help me reduce the amount of time I'm actually sitting there editing at the computer. Because let's face it, promoters and the clients that you're dealing with, 9 times out of 10, they're not the most patient people on the planet. You know, they want a quality product, but they want it back quick. So follow these 3 simple rules and I guarantee it's going to help you speed up the editing process, make your clients happier, and get you some more sleep. Okay, so rule number 1, be ruthless. Being ruthless is probably the most important part of editing, to be quite honest with you. I can picture the scene now. You were at the club, there was this shot of a girl, she was playfully flicking her hair whilst drinking like some sort of radioactive coloured cocktail. You know, there was a bit of club decor in the background, slightly out of focus. You were filming it at 50 frames per second. You got the shot once, you got it twice, you filmed it 20 times just to be certain that you got it. Then you get home and you put it into the computer and you turn it to 25 frames a second. You get to the second shot, you see that the shot is perfect. Do you cut the other 18 takes that you did on the night? No, of course you don't. There's nothing more to see here. You've got the shot. You know, if you were dealing with an £80 million budget, then I would say, yes, cut absolutely everything. But if you've got that shot and it looks great and you know you're going to put it out there and people are going to be like, ooh, that looks nice, that is all you need, to be honest with you. Like, there is no point in sitting there and continuing to cut the rest of the shots. You've got it, so time to be ruthless and move on. Okay, so rule 2, don't film 20 versions of the same shot in the first place. You know, it seems really, really simple, but the honest truth of it is that you really need to be confident in yourself as a cameraman. You know, you go into these events, perhaps they've only booked you for 3 hours, and of that 3 hours, only an hour and a half of it is really going to go off. So you really don't want to be wasting your time filming the same thing over and over again. Because first of all, you're going to miss other great shots at the event that are going to give your video a lot more variation and a lot more content. But from an editing perspective, you're going to get home, you're going to load this stuff into your computer, and you're going to have to watch the same thing over and over again. And let's be honest with you, when you're dealing with that kind of repetitiveness, you get bored and you go off and you get on YouTube and you watch some blog by some camera guy instead of actually doing your work. So here's my best advice. You get the shot, move on. There is no need to faff around, keep trying to film the same thing. You've got the poster shot, you've got that DJ shot, you've got the shot of the girl flicking her hair. So move on and find yourself a new shot. And what you'll find is that you're powering through your video, you're going to feel egged on because you're looking down at your editing panel and you're thinking, I've got loads of great content here. Whereas if you've filmed the same thing over and over again, you're going to look at your editing panel and think, oh God, this is going to take me ages, and you're going to get distracted. So do yourself a favour, be confident in yourself as a cameraman, and when you know you've got the shot, it's time to move on. Okay, so rule number 3 is clean up as you go. It's kind of a bit like, you know, when you was at school and you were doing cooking lessons and the teacher said to you, you know, if you clean up as you go, it'll make washing up at the end a lot easier. Well, it's the same sort of thing when it comes to editing, really. If you've got 2 repeat shots next to each other on the panel and there's a slight difference between the 2, decide which one you're going to keep before you go on to the next clip. That way, as you're putting the video together, it'll kind of be assembling itself because there'll be no repeat shots next to each other. And before you know it, you'll be sticking the sound bit on, adding the text, and then going off onto the internet to troll the shit out of someone's blog. Not this one though, obviously. So it's a great bit of advice, to be honest with you. You know, if you're building the video as you go, when it comes to actually putting the thing together with the music, it's kind of, most of the work is already done for you, you know. So like I say, clean up as you go and you will save an absolute ton of time editing. Okay, so those are my 3 rules to editing. Now, there is one other tip I can give you, and it is the most basic, the most straight up tip you can possibly ask for, and that is just concentrate. I mean, we're all prone to like our 4-hour Facebook breaks, you know, where we go off and look at friends' photos of kittens with philosophical quotes written on them. But the fact of the matter is if your edit is a stop-start affair, it's going to lose the flow. It's not going to feel like one unified piece. You know, and if you just commit to doing the edit and then do your Facebook pleasuring a bit later on, what you're going to find is the video has got a real through line. It feels like a piece. You're going to power through, and you're not going to get to the end of it and begrudge all the amount of time you wasted on it because you did it quick, you did it with speed, you're really proud of it, and you know, now you've got the rest of the day to promote it or do whatever the hell it is you want to do with your day. But if you concentrate and just get through your edit, regardless of what time of day it is, you're going to end up with a much better end product than if you start and stop and start and stop. So bear that in mind when you're doing your edit as well. So that's it. Hopefully that's going to help you speed up your editing a little bit. I know they're just really simple, straight up tips, but they're the kind of thing that, believe it or not, it takes you years to figure out as a camera person. You know, you slowly start to go out, and the more you film and the more you edit your own work, the more you start to refine how it is you're going to get it down. And that's just stuff that I've come up with after, you know, 4 years of filming in nightclubs. I found my 3 rules. You know, perhaps you've got your own 3 rules, but I guarantee those ones, they've made me fast, they've made me quick, and they've helped me maintain the quality of the product as well. So bear them in mind when you're out filming, bear them in mind when you're editing, and hopefully it's going to speed the whole process up for you a lot. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at TPAC Productions, and you can also hit me up on Facebook, TPAC Productions as well. And don't forget, drop your comments in the link below, and hopefully we'll hear from you soon. Thanks, bye-bye.